Okay, here we go. All right, so I started, let me just show you my dependencies.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is my Hibernate, and these are all my dependencies, and I'm going to have the Java persistence,
Mm-hmm.
Hibernate entity manager.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Okay, never mind, that one's done. That's fine. I have the 3.9, and then I have my SQL connector. And then the only thing that you have that, well, I have that you don't is the Tomcat. So you can always download Tomcat,
Mm-hmm.
but that should work just fine. Try saving it.
To save?
Yeah, go ahead and save it. And then close your project and open it up. That's actually what I had to do for mine to work. And I don't know why.
Let's see. So I will close and then open again.
And if it still doesn't work, then I'll try to make a tutorial going step by step
Okay.
and see what's going on.
I still have an error.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me just try to make a new one real quick from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Java, persistence,
Mm-hmm.
provider, Hibernate, download, next,
Finish.
next, new window. Okay.
Database.
Where'd it go?
Okay.
Okay, there's that.
Persistence.
Generate persistence mapping by database schema. Package. Come on.
Something. Choose your tables.
Yes. Okay, so we have that now. That's good.
Perfect.
Now let's go here. Okay. So here, libraries, Maven. Okay, so let's go to MySQL. Dash Java. Come on, today.
It takes time.
Yeah. All right, so there's that.
Then
Here, and we have Hibernate.entity manager. Three 3.6.9, I think, is the one that.
the 5, I mean.
Okay.
9, okay.
And then
Tomcat.
let's see, which one was it? It was the final, I think, right? API
Yeah.
1.0, 1.0. Yeah, okay. All right, and that. And then we'll see if anything happens if I add Tomcat. All right, hold on, let me check my other project to see what my Tomcat version was. Oh man, I didn't save everything. Oops. Sorry. Hopefully we can get this figured out. So then it'll work. If not, I gotta try rebuild the project again because my current project works, but if this doesn't work, then I don't know how it's working. But I was talking to Brother Larson, and he says he's more interested in how we would organize. There we go.
Tables.
Yeah. Okay. So how we would organize tables, how we would build entities. He said it doesn't matter the ORM language we use, so we can use JPA, we can use Hibernate, whatever. Just gets us to get the job done. Is what he said. Oh, sorry, I got to redo this real quick.
It's fine.
Brian, how are you doing?
Yeah, how are you?
Doing good. How's the weather in California?
It's getting cool.
We had a first snow today.
All right. I'm guessing you always have a white Christmas.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We have 4 seasons here.
Which one is this? Oh, yeah. All right, come on. SQL connector, Java.
603.
Yeah. Okay. And then it was the JPA, I believe. Oh man, what was it? Almost done, I promise. Oh, there we go. I did it.
And you don't have any errors.
Yep.
Maybe the reason why I have an error because we didn't download the GPA.
I didn't download JPA. I have the MySQL connector, Tomcat, and then Entity Manager. So let's go back through. You can remove all of these just by clicking the minus sign to delete the library. So go through and delete your libraries, and we'll go do it one more time to make sure that your error vanishes.
So I will share my screen.
Okay.
And we can go through together. So just go minus.
And Vicky, if you press the down at the bottom, you have that Google the Google Hangouts notification. Yeah, there we go.
You still see my screen, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, good. So my connector. It takes time. It's supposed to be the 6, 0, and 3.
Yeah, these are just the same versions that the gentleman in the tutorial used. So.
Next one is
Hibernate Entity Manager.
Yeah, exactly. Hibernate Entity Manager. Which version did you use?
3.6.9.
So again,
3.6.9 final.
369. That one?
Yep.
Okay. And the last one is
the Apache Tomcat.
Yeah.
And I can, hold on, I can paste it real quick.
Again.
Inside the group chat. There you go. And you may just want to delete some of that. Just keep Tomcat, Catalina. That should be enough.
7, 0. Seven, 0. That one?
Yes.
Let's see. And it is working. Yeah. You see? Woo! Cool. So we need to download from Maven that Apache Tomcat.
I'm sure that helps. Yeah.
Important part. So I will stop sharing my screen.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. I'm glad things worked out. So now I guess, Brian, if you haven't figured out Hibernate yet, now you got the easy steps for setup that are done.
I haven't.
You have it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, mind if I start with Hibernate today? I'll show you what I've got.
Okay.
All right. Okay, let me share my screen. You see my beautiful face a million times. Okay. All right. So to explain, first let me explain my database. So to the right over here, I have 3 tables: a car table, which has basic rows, make, model, year, color, and so on. The car owner table, which is kind of an in-between table, a lookup table. Because cars and owners can have many-to-many relationships. So one car can belong to various owners if it gets sold, right? And one owner can have multiple cars. So the car owner table is like a common lookup table where the many-to-many relationship can work. Okay. Anyways, to kind of, after I explained that, I wanted to show you my classes. I have my 2 classes plus my main class. I have, these are the auto-generated classes. Car entity, they call all tables entities and so on. The couple changes I made were right here. I had to specify a one-to-many relationship with the car entity class. And that kind of gave me some problems at first because it wasn't registering and it was being a pain. It took me forever to figure that out. But you have to specify it. So I have my one-to-many with car entity here, with the car owner entity here. And then I have the same thing in my owner entity, another one-to-many, both pointing to my car owner entity class. Now here, I added both of these as well. This also, in your classes, you have to designate, okay, I have a car entity and an owner entity that are part of my class. So I have the owner ID and car ID, which are my foreign keys in my tables. And those are the columns that these relationships will be joined on. So I specify here that it's a many-to-one relationship with both of these entities. And that's how the relationships work in between classes with this. Before I move on to my main, do you guys have any questions about the relationships?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. So let me explain a bit of my code, and then I'll show the application I built. Here, I start off by creating Entity Manager Factory. So in my code, I use a mix of JPA and Hibernate. It's not strictly one or the other. I've used JPA in the past, so that's what I'm kind of familiar with, so I used that. However, Hibernate uses sessions, so it's a little different. Same principle, though. So I created Entity Manager Factory, and when you create that, you have to put the name of your persistence unit. Mine is just, hold on, it's new persistence unit. You can rename it to whatever you want. That's just the default it gave, so I kept it. And then I created Entity Manager. And this is what lets me affect the classes or the tables in my database. Here I create an input for users. I start my transactions, so EM is my Entity Manager. Every time you want to affect the tables in the database, you have to have a transaction. Now, you call the .get transaction and you begin the transaction, meaning you can edit and modify tables in that transaction. That being said, I have a while loop here that repeats unless I put 0 to quit. I have a switch statement that goes through and collects the user input, telling me or the program what I want to do. I have these 5, I don't think I have remove a car yet. I have these 5 working, but I haven't figured out how to properly remove a car and remove an owner because there are foreign key dependencies that are locking it. So still working on that. However, I have the CRU, so create, replace, and update. Create, replace, update, delete. Yeah, I have that part done in my top 5. To explain what these do, to select all the cars, I simply query the database for all the cars available. I have my entity manager that I pass in to my function, and I use that to .create query. And then this here is actually HQL, or the Hibernate language. Normally, I would need to put select all from so-and-so, like a normal query in here. However, HQL, when you want to query everything, simply lets you put from and then the name of the class or entity you're going to use. I then just do .get result list, which returns all of the rows in a list right here. This is my list to where I'm collecting everything. This loop, I simply iterate through my list and print out all the cars that I have in my table by color, year, make, and model. To add a car, similar process. I get user input and store it in a string. I split it via space because I'm trying to collect the color, year, make, and model. This is adding a car. I create a new car entity, and then I set or store all the information I collected from the user in that new car. Now to push or to insert in JPA, I use my entity manager dot persist and then the name of the object that I created to persist. That will add this new car to my table. Okay, flush clears this object from memory, I guess, and then this commits everything, or I guess actually inserts it into the table. Once that's done, I print out my car was successfully added, and then you can go back to my select cars and actually see that. My last 2 or 3, same principle here. This is a list owner and the cars, so I get both. I actually get a list of my car owner entity, so that common lookup table, the middle one. And I get everything from there, and from that, I do a for each loop. So from each car owner row in my common lookup table, I can actually get both sides of the table. So let me try to demonstrate, it'd be easier. So I have my car owner, okay, so that's my foreign key table. When I click dot, I can get car entity, which is I can get the car information, or I can get the owner information from there. Because it's the middle linking table, I can go to either table and get information because of those foreign keys. So if I want the owner name, I get car owner, get owner entity, dot, get first name. And that'll print the first name of the owner. Or if I want the car information, I simply do, instead of get owner entity, I do get car entity dot make. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's the super practical part about ORM, or object relational mapping, is things like this, working with databases. This makes it super easy to do. Anyways, next I add an owner. So again, same process. I add, persist, commit, and then when I add an owner to a car, this is a bit different. Let me explain this. The tough part about adding an owner to a car is you have to, for one, you need to make sure that the car is already in the database. I guess there's probably a way to add it here. I didn't do it. First thing I do is get the owner list. Okay, I create a query, create a query, get all the owners from my owners table. I iterate through them, and then I have them select which owner they want to add to a car. Okay, I store that information here, owner num, which is the number of the owner that they selected. And then I create a new owner. And then I simply assign the owner from the list, to the owner I just created. Okay. Next, I do the same thing for cars. So I get the car list. I select the car. I tell them that, I again ask them which car do you want. I print out all the cars. They tell me what car they want via the numbers. I do the same thing here. I get the car that they specified from the list, add it to my owner car. Now this is kind of where it changes. I can't add them separately. I have to actually add them via my car owner entity. So I create a new car owner entity and I assign the owner and car to the objects I created. And then I have to set a couple other things here that I made required, not important. And then I actually persist my car owner entity, and that puts the car, that creates a link between the car in the database and the owner in the database. I commit, and then I add that. So let me show you, I've talked a lot, let me actually show you what it does. All right, so this red is normal, happens every time. All right, so one, I get to see a list of my cars. Here are the list of cars I have in my database. Okay, once that's done, it again asks me, okay, well, what's your next move? Let me add a car. Brian, what kind of car do you drive?
An Explorer.
An Explorer, okay, what color?
Red.
Red. What year?
2015.
Ooh, nice. Ford Explorer. X, I can't even spell that right. Okay, so I enter. Okay, car is successfully added. So now if I go back to 1 again, here's your car. Now, if I want to add Brian to that car, I need to go to number 4, which is adding an owner. Perry, Brian? Your last name Perry?
Yeah.
Okay. Brian. No transaction is in progress. Did I close it? Ah. Okay, hold on. If you close the transaction anywhere, then it closes the transaction for the entire time. Where did I close it? 0 is where it closes. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, it works, I promise. I don't know why it's commit. Where is it? Add owner to car. Add owner commit flush. Huh. Well, I got to work on that little kink. However, if I do it again, it will let me add Brian. Okay. All right. So now if I try to see a list of my owners and their cars, which you don't have any yet, so I need to add you to a car. 5, please work. There we go. There's Brian. And I want to add them to number 4. Goodness. Okay. Somewhere my transaction is getting closed. However, like I said, it works, I promise.
Yeah.
Let me do it one more time, just so you can see.
Don't worry.
All right. In the end, it works. Commit. Oh, whoops. Okay. That worked for a couple kinks. So yeah, there's what I have for Hibernate so far. I think that with my whole program thing, it might have gone a bit above and beyond. I don't think it needs to be this intense, but I demonstrated the basic principles of insert, update, and I haven't figured out delete yet, but I'm getting there. So,
Good job.
Questions?
Nope.
Don't think
Okay.
so.
Awesome. Who's next?
Okay.
I will show my Hibernate. I just can create the project and so on. So, do I need to show how to create a project?
I'm sorry?
Do I need to show how to create a project, or?
I think we went over that. We were filming when we made yours.
We didn't film it.
I think we did, didn't we?
No, we didn't start at that time. The live session.
Okay, you can go through that if you'd like to, or I know I've already taken up like half an hour. Sorry. So if Brian has anything, either that or Vicky, you can go over your project. It's up to you.
I have two things to show, but they're really fast. But if you want to go first, it doesn't matter.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
So I have two things to show, but they're really fast. But if you want to go first, that's fine.
I can show how to create a project. It's pretty fast. So then next time I can show the entire program. Okay, so I'll share my screen. So I already have a program, like my own program with my database, with tables. But anyway, I'll show how I have created. So need to go new, project, Java, Java E persistence, click choose provider, and download libraries from here. Next, for example, it could be test2. So here is my project. Go to database, plus data source, MySQL, and Hibernate I have. I will not set a password for right now. Just it is an example. So it's successful. Okay. Then go to persistence. New persistence unit. Generate persistent mapping by database schema. MySQL package. Let's say test2. Okay. Click on tables. And then click OK. And then if we can see here we have our tables. I have Arthur, and for Arthur I have Arthur key. It's primary key, Arthur last name, Arthur first name, a book table with book key, ISBN primary key, book title, book publisher, book year. And also I have the book Arthur table with keys as book key, ISBN, and Arthur key. And if we want to work with tables, we need to work on the persistence .xml file. And to do that, I'm going to project structure, libraries, and then Greg, I need your help with the Apache Tomcat Hibernate entity manager. I don't remember which one we choose from the last time. It was 3. Did you remember which one we have used?
Yes, 3.6.9.
3.69?
Yep.
Okay, and then connector. The connector, MySQL Java. And I think it was the 307, but not sure.
It was 6.0.2.
6.02 or 3?
2.
And the Apache.
It's going to be Tomcat dash Catalina.
Tomcat dash
Catalina. Catalina. Perfect.
and it was the
7.0.3. Zero.
Where is it? Yeah. This one?
No.
No?
No, sorry. There's no ant on the back.
It's okay. I can edit one more time. Tomcat, Catalina. One more time. Uh, 30.
Okay, keep going down. It's 7.0.3. That's weird. Keep going down some more, because I don't remember there being an ant at the end.
Huh.
Huh, keep going. Hold on,
This
hold on,
one,
hold
no?
on. No, keep going down.
Down, okay.
Keep going. Keep right there. Okay. Keep going a bit more. There we go.
This one?
Yep.
So it's supposed to be all right. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. So, the only actually question I have when like I have relation here in my local host. Give me a second. So if we're going to the designer, here I have the relationship between them. And for example, here you can see my tables with data. But here, if I'm going to the here diagram, it didn't have any relationship.
You need to specify the relationships in your book entity and author entity classes.
In the local host or here?
No, in your code, in the actual entities or classes themselves.
Do you mean in the over here, as you have told us about the one-to-many and many-to-one, the relationship?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep. You need to specify that. For some reason, the persistence manager didn't implement or import the one-to-many relationships.
I see.
Or many-to-many. So.
Thank you. So it is what I have for today. I spent most of time working on the Hibernate persistence. It didn't work for many hours. So I'm glad that we deal together on it and I can move on. So I will stop sharing my screen, and so Brian can share what he has for today.
Okay. Let's see. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, this is my servlet. So I'll explain that later. So I'll show you first what it does. Yes, waiting to open. It's not opening.
Your servlet. Like,
Yeah.
there
Okay.
we go.
Okay, it's just very simple. That's my servlet. But now I'll explain what it does. So, okay. So, like, servlets are like little pieces inside the Tomcat server. And when you make a request, Tomcat finds the appropriate servlet to execute depending on what URL you are trying to send. Then it has to parse all the HTTP from the web browser into array list because it can't read the code, so it has to change it to HTTP because that's what browsers read. They only understand HTTP. I mean, no, that's different. Forget it. So once it gets from the browser into array lists and hash maps, and then it has to build the objects to make it easier for the code, so it can handle whatever request. So part of the HTTP has to be parsed by Tomcat, which is the request type. And you have two different request types, which is the post and get. What we usually see is the get, and that's what I did, I think. So post requests are used only to request information. And so my simple servlet is just trying to send it has the URL, which is to my local, because I don't really have another one, because this is just like a web example app. So once you click the button, it will show you the information from the servlet. And that's, I think, all I have for the servlet. I was trying to do something different before, but I couldn't make it work and didn't want to waste more time on that. So do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
And I have also the HTTP URL connection. So let's see. Open. Let's see. Do you see that? Okay, this is first. I have to have a stored user agent, which is Mozilla 5.0. So that's what most people use to make it work, because that's like universal. So here I created my instance of the class, and then I have a class that is called Go. So I have to call that class connect@go. So here I have a URL, which is like a search for the keyword snow. So I put that whole link there and open that connection. I've created that instance of the connection and open the connection and allow and set output to true, which allows post. And then set the request property and put the user agent here. And then you also have to store the response that you receive from the server. So you save it in this case in a variable. It will be saved in a number, so it's an int. And I just printed a message. It's like it's sending the GET response to the URL, and then it prints the actual response here that we got from the server. And then I have the buffer reader that stores the input stream from the server. And then this other string buffer, I call the response, that is going to save the input stream from the server. This is just going to append my input, which is okay. So then you close the buffer and you want to print out to a string into string that whole response, so you can see what it's doing. And I have a couple of nested pads when you want to pass no to the open connection. It throws an illegal argument exception, or you want to pass an empty string in your URL constructor. It throws a malformed URL exception. Or when you pass no, you get the same thing, but it's caused by a no pointer exception. Or if you pass, in this case I pass localhost port 80, since you get a socket exception when you do that, or you put like a website that doesn't exist. So I made this up, and I checked that this is not real, and it's not. So you get an unknown host exception. So when you run it, it's gonna show up, it's gonna pull the whole HTML from that Google search. And this is the whole HTML, so it's really long, and it's the exact result from that Google search over here. And that's what it's doing. I didn't want to show the nasty pads because you will not see
How
the HTML here. Yeah. So do you have any questions for this?
No, you did a good job.
All right. Finally, you got it. Good.
Yeah. And I was trying to work with Hibernate with the other things, but I have some errors, and well, just one, and it's because of a library, and for some reason it is not found in my library. So that's why I'm gonna try to do whatever you the way you did it instead.
Yeah, you can use the
I don't want to waste too much time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, good. I think by the end of the week, we should all be caught up on our code topics for sure. Let's try to submit fluency by the end of this week for all of our code topics to be done with code. Well, be done with code.
I kind of did it for half of the code that I did, but I haven't done that for professionalism. I have to do that this week.
Okay.
At least once.
Yeah, I know. For me, I did everything except for servlets, URL connection, Hibernate, and then I haven't finished executors yet. So other than that, that's code-wise for me. Where are you at on your code fluency, Vicky?
Again?
Where are you at on your code fluency? Have you submitted fluency for everything so far?
Not for everything. I need to submit for Hibernate, for the HTML URL connection, servlets. But I think that on this, by the end of this week, I can submit everything what I have, so I will be okay.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, good job. Let's keep up the work, and hopefully we can all finish submitting or presenting on Friday.
Yeah, what is our plans for Friday?
Let's see.
Hibernate.
I always check that part.
I think that's the only thing that we have to finish. Yeah. And it's the
Yes.
hardest one.
Let me just pull up.
The meeting notes.
Yep.
My computer didn't like my SQL. I installed my SQL and it wouldn't shut down anymore or restart.
Oh,
So I just uninstalled it. Maybe it won't do that anymore.
Did you use the XAMPP?
No, I was just trying to do a different way, but I couldn't make it work either.
I really like the XAMPP. All what you need, just install it and install the Visual C++, and it works perfectly.
yeah, it's nice.
I like it.
Well, the first time that I was installing it, it froze and never finished installing. So I just had to
Try to do it
quit.
yourself.
Yeah, close it, force it to close, and do it again like 3 times.
Let's see. I'll be presenting on servlets and HTTP URL connection. Come on, why isn't this working? Yep.
Yeah.
Vicky will be presenting on Hibernate, right?
Yeah, the second part.
Okay. And Brian also on Hibernate.
Part.
Hey.
No.
The whole thing.
Sounds good.
Guys, did you hear from Adam? Since it's maybe 2 weeks since we don't hear from him.
No, I haven't heard from him at all.
I'm just wondering if he will meet with us.
So maybe we'll meet tomorrow night to talk to Brother Larson for any questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be there, but if I can't, can you be sure to ask him about the application we're supposed to make?
Yeah.
And also about the recording.
Yeah, if he's making recordings. I doubt he's making recordings to post them.
He's not going to post them. So when I claim fluency this week for almost all of the topic except for HTTP, servlets, and Hibernate. So I emailed him, I followed the sample that he's emailed us and did it for all of them. And he replied back and said that he moved each of the topics to disagree now. So he sent me back the same file that I sent him, and he just wrote those comments.
Yeah, same here. We're talking about the video recordings, right?
Yeah.
Which one? This one?
His meetings, his weekly class or teacher meetings, his office hours, if he's recording those or not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But you can ask him if he can do that, since I cannot be there for sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
If you want to stay up till 4 in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. So let's make sure we get this done for Friday, and then after that we have graphs and diagrams and all that goodness.
Yeah. We can work on it.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. We'll see you Friday morning.
Yeah, see you on
On
Friday.
Friday.